In the relentless rush of the Strand, power meets its limits. This is the Royal Courts of Justice, where the law challenges power in an open stage. Opened in 1882, designed by George Edmund Street, this Gothic Revival palace holds within it the High Court and Court of Appeal. These stones may appear silent, but within them they hold centuries of debate. These walls don't whisper a warning. They don't scream their authority, but they demand it. Crowns are left at the door and titles evaporate in thin air. So bring your case, if you dare, and bring your law, but beware, these walls have a verdict of their own. And this is the bedrock bargain. Parliament make the law, the executive acts within it, and the courts, they interpret the law when it's most needed, and often what is least inconvenient. Architecture makes the first argument. Arches don't just invite the public, but they beckon them. Buttresses that hint an underlying restraint, and a ceremony in stone that declares justice is not whispered in back rooms, it's witnessed openly. It speaks of continuity because law must outlast the fleeting headlines, of restraint because even the mighty must show their reasons, and of ceremony because judgment is not private property, it belongs to us all. But to truly understand this formidable building, we have to understand the arguments that forged it. Arguments that began centuries ago, long before these stones were laid and long before these very streets existed. A common law grew from the 12th century, judges riding in circuits, decisions recorded, rules taking root in custom cases and not royal whim. The first tremor in this story of power and law came with the Baron's bargain that became a lodestar. No one is deprived of liberty without due process. Not perfect, no, not universal, but a powerful seed that once planted kept sprouting. Kings began to learn a crucial boundary. The monarch could not decide cases, nor change the law by mere proclamation. The crown too was slowly but surely held to the law. Parliament pressed the point, etching it into ink. No taxes without consent, no imprisonment without cause. Government, they insisted, must give lawful reasons, or it has none at all. London, 1670. William Penn is dragged to trial for preaching. The judge demands a guilty verdict, but the jury refuses. Their defiance sparks Bushel's case, a historical moment where the jury's independence was born. Then a writ with iron in its very name, habeas corpus, produced the body, justified the detention. The state too must step into the light. After the revolution, a powerful settlement. The crown would govern by law in partnership with Parliament. No suspending of statutes, no standing armies without consent. Liberty, it was declared, is tied to public consent and to public reasons. Judges secured tenure during good behaviour, not at the monarch's pleasure. Independence was no longer a courtesy, it was a fundamental condition. And when officials ransacked a man's home without lawful warrant, the court said no. Executive power, they clarified, has edges, and the law draws them. Victorian reform, comprehensive and sweeping, fused the maze of ancient courts into a modern system. Clarity by statute, a law easy to find and indefinitely harder to dodge. And as my brush first grazes the wall, pigment flying in translucent veils, I begin to see more than stone. Each surface bears the weight of ages, history pressed into mortar and lime. Light drapes itself across the arches, revealing centuries of discourse, while shadows coil in the corners where old battles once smouldered. The firm geometry, the unwavering lines, they whisper of principles too enduring to fade. Without a single master document, the constitution shifted profoundly during the 20th century. In Europe's legal era, courts took a momentous step. They disapplied a British statute that clashed with EU law. Because Parliament had chosen that primacy in 1972, sovereignty, it turned out, could lend its crown and later, when the time came, take it back. Rights now stepped fully into domestic law. Judges could declare acts incompatible with the Convention rights, a powerful statement, but crucially, they could not strike them down. Parliament still had the last word and the first responsibility. Separation sharpened. The highest court moved out from Parliament's shadow into its own distinct home. Judicial independence wasn't just a promise anymore, it was a visible, undeniable posture. In turbulent times, the friction shows vividly. In 2017, the first Miller case asked the fundamental question: could ministers trigger Article 50 and withdraw from the EU alone? The court said a clear no. Parliament must decide such great departures. Sovereignty, they affirmed, means profound responsibility. In 2019, propagation smothered parliamentary scrutiny for weeks. The Supreme Court said that it was unlawful. Power had unequivocally overreached. Parliament had been silenced, and that silence, they declared, could not stand. And outside, as the decisions landed, tempers flared. One paper infamously called judges enemies of the people. The answer from the Constitution, however, was far calmer, far more enduring. Judges don't pick political winners. They simply make sure the match is played by the rules. We have no single grand book. We have acts and cases, habits and principles, reasons tested in the fierce light of public scrutiny. It is untidy, it is resilient, but it is ours. To paint this building is no mere act of capturing its face. It's an attempt to listen, to trace how the arguments have become architecture, how ideas are set into the grain of the stone. Every wash of colour, every ripple of water is a quiet dialogue with the law itself. A conversation, not in words, but hue, light and breath. Guys, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what iconic buildings you'd like me to explore next. As always, see you on the next one.
It's an honour to be part of this diverse coalition of voices representing different causes and different struggles, but bound together by three fundamental principles: the unwavering belief in fairness, a burning desire for truth, and the refusal to stand idly while miscarriages of justice continue to occur to this very day.